We'll have the Smart City, we have a joint inaugural session here of Convergence India and of Smart Cities India. And post that, so this is a conference which has been supported by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, Ministry of Heavy Industry, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Information and Broadcasting, the Ministry of Jal Shakti, the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, of New and Renewable Energy, of Panchayati Raj, of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. All these ministries are supporting the exposition. And we thank all our partners, UNI, KPMG, thanking Hyundai, thanking Unlimited, also Standard Chartered, RISE, all the others who have supported us. This first session, the inaugural session, the joint inaugural session is going to be close to 1 hour. And as I mentioned, post that, the Honourable Minister is going to be inaugurating the exposition. Post that, we begin with our sessions here. For Smart Cities and for Convergence, it's going to be in Hall 5A. Distinguished guest of honor for the inaugural session. हम इस सभागार में स्वागत करते हैं हमारे माननीय विशेष अतिथि, हमारे माननीय आवास एवं शहरी विकास केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री श्री कौशल किशोर जी का। Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be starting with the inaugural session. Shortly joining us will also be our Honourable Chief Guest, Srimati Meenakshi Lekhi, the Honourable Minister of State for External Affairs. She is going to be joining us in a short while from now, but we have a go-ahead from her that we can begin with the inaugural session in the interest of time for everyone. So, good morning to all of you once again. Namaskar. It's a pleasure and a very distinguished honor to be greeting all of you, our Honourable Minister, sir, the Honourable Ambassadors of various countries and all the other captains and leaders of the industry from the tech and the infra world, all the delegates, participants, exhibitors. Welcome to all of you to India's largest tech and infra conference, and this is the joint inaugural session which we have of the 29th Convergence India, which is reshaping, redefining the digital landscape. Along with we have the 7th Smart Cities India Conclave, which is redefining our Indian smart cities. And then we have the 22nd edition of India Soft, which is a platform towards promoting the Indian software. So it's a pleasure to have you in this joint inaugural session. I'll just take a few minutes to let you know about our conferences for this is a joint inaugural session. Now, Convergence India was launched in the year 1992, and this, as the very name suggests, this converges the various innovative technologies, concepts from the world of mobile and telecom industry, from the broadcast and the digital media, embedded systems, IoT, enterprise solutions, emerging technologies. Smart Cities is a very recent one. It was launched in the year 2015, and it integrates the various transformative information and communication technologies in urban development for optimizing resources and towards developing smart, resilient, more productive, more efficient and more sustainable cities. And India Soft is a platform which showcases the software from our Indian software giants. It's a platform towards, again, forging alliances and partnerships. So we have the Indian exhibitors here, and we have the foreign buyers joining us, and it's going to be a platform towards taking this relationship further. So we are sure that this mega event which we have of the 3 conferences, if you see, is actually a showcase of the transformative and progressive 21st century India, which is defining a smart, connected, digital, resilient and a sustainable future. And it becomes very important in this very year, for as you know, India is celebrating its 75 years of our independence. We are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and therefore it becomes a platform for us to showcase to the world the immense developments and strides which we have been able to make as a nation in these 75 years, and then look into the future in setting our milestones, setting our pathways, our timelines in achieving the India at 100 vision. The vision which has been given by our Honorable Prime Minister, which talks about not only a progressive India, but an India becoming a global leader, an India which is sensitive to the climate change, and an India which is self-reliant. So the focus is also more towards being vocal for local and local for global. And in all this, technology has been kept at the forefront. Technology is at the center of all the transformation. Further, we've also seen, all of us have experienced that the pandemic has also put the technology at the center stage for all the transformation, be it the way we commute, the way we communicate, the way we work, and the others. So we are sure that these 3 days with all the experts and the policymakers, we are going to be able to draw a framework for placing India as a leader across sectors and our commitment towards a more climate-sensitive development. So with that introduction to the 3 days, we now begin with our inaugural session. As I mentioned, we are really honored to have our Honorable Minister of State for Housing and Urban Affairs, our distinguished guest of honor, Shri Kaushik Kishore ji joining us. और सभी की तालियों के बीच में उनका मंच पर यहाँ पर स्वागत करती हूँ. May I also request Mr. Sandeep Narula, the Chairman of the Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council, India, to please grace the dais, inviting Mr. Bimal Kumar Dubey, the General Manager, IQBO. We thank him also for all the support. They are co-organizers with us. Mr. Puneet Naran, the partner KPMG India, who are our knowledge partners. Ms. Chandrika Behel, the Managing Director of the EI India Group, and Mr. Dhruv Behel, the Director, EI India Group. So this is, as we take this inaugural session, as you know, the theme which we have is using technology. Mr. Gurmeet Singh, if I can request you also. Yeah, that's it. So, using technology to power development. And towards that, we invite the insights, the views, the thoughts, and the way forward from our distinguished speakers here. We're going to be looking into understanding more of the India at 100 vision, the National Urban Digital Mission, taking learnings beyond smart cities for urban development, how to actually leverage technology towards making our cities truly smart, cutting-edge technology towards facilitating development, and the moon question, will 5G be able to empower our citizens and take us in realizing the India at 100 vision? So these are some of the discussion points for the inaugural session. And with that, at the very onset, from the organizer side, from the Exhibitions India Group, I request Mr. Dhruv Behel, the Director, EI India Group, for his opening remarks for the inaugural session.
I'm just going to use the chair if you don't mind. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 29th Convergence India, 7th Smart Cities India, and 22nd India Soft EXPO. Thank you for your presence here this morning. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries on the dais. Ms. Chandrika Behel, Managing Director, Exhibitions India Group. Mr. Gurmeet Singh, Executive Director, Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council. Mr. Sandeep Narula, Chairman, Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council. Mr. Bimal Kumar Dubey, IAS, General Manager, India Trade Promotion Organization. Mr. Puneet Naran, Partner, KPMG in India. Shri Kaushik Kishore, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And we are awaiting the arrival of Srimati Meenakshi Lekhi, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of External Affairs. Thank you all for your presence here this morning. As a post-COVID world finally appears to be emerging, the past 2 years have demonstrated the importance of building a digital and smart India. The role of technology cannot be overstated in combating the COVID-19 pandemic. Command and control centers in smart cities across the country have doubled up as COVID war rooms, and the communications infrastructure that kept us all connected over the past couple of years was a literal lifeline. The coronavirus pandemic and the recent geopolitical events have also demonstrated just how interconnected the world really is. Convergence India and Smart Cities India have a legacy of being platforms that foster growth and accelerate nation building. As early as 1992, Convergence India heralded the telecom revolution in India, while the Smart Cities India EXPO, since 2015, has supported the Smart Cities mission in the country. This leading platform not only showcases the latest technologies, but also demonstrates where and how these innovations fit into a smart and sustainable ecosystem. Our aim remains to contribute to India's growth story and provide a platform to showcase brand India. As the latest innovations aim to improve the quality of life, it's the Indian citizen who benefits from advancements in technology and planning. Such meaningful engagement as this expo provides is a foundation stone towards achieving a future in which we create a more sustainable blueprint for society. With 800 participants, 100 startups, there's an incredible amount of diversity on the show floor. And I encourage you to spend some time post this session exploring the exhibits over the course of these 3 days. We also have an extremely engaging, high-level, 3-day conference program with sessions on technology and smart cities running in parallel in Hall A and Hall B. We are currently in Hall B. Hall A is in Hall 5 at the other end of the expo. We also have an innovation stage that will host some special sessions and startup pitching competitions over the course of the next 3 days. At the conclusion of this expo, we hold the Smart Cities and Fintech India Innovation Awards to recognize the work being done across the country to build a digital and smart India. We close the expo with a number of awards and incubation opportunities for the participating startups and end with a special award and cash prize, the Prem Bahel Excellence Award in memory of our late chairman and my father, who always championed innovation and the entrepreneurial spirit. Once again, I'd like to thank all the dignitaries on the dais and wish all of you all the very best for the next 3 days. I'd now like to request Mr. Dubey to give his welcome.
Thank you, Dhruv. आज के कार्यक्रम के सम्मानित गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर श्री कौशल किशोर, माननीय राज्य मंत्री, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन अफेयर्स, भारत सरकार, मंच पर उपस्थित मिस्टर ध्रुव बहल, डायरेक्टर एग्जीबिशन इंडिया, मिस्टर संदीप नरूला, द चेयरमैन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड कंप्यूटर सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन काउंसिल, मिस्टर पुनीत नारंग, पार्टनर ऑफ KPMG, और हम अपने मुख्य अतिथि श्रीमती मीनाक्षी लेखी, ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स, वी आर वेटिंग फॉर हर टू अराइव, श्री गुरमीत सिंह, द एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड कंप्यूटर सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन काउंसिल इंडिया. And I am very proud that ITPO has joined hands together with the Exhibition India Private Limited to organize this mega event in the newly furnished, refurbished, newly constructed, air-conditioned halls of Indian Trade Promotion Organization. I take this opportunity to introduce you to the venue which we have developed with the able initiative of Honorable Prime Minister. Now, this exhibition area has around 75,000 square meters of air-conditioned exhibition halls. Very shortly, we are coming up with the convention center, which will be an iconic building, first of its kind in the country, where we will be having around 21 various sizes conference halls. There will be a hall which will be having the sitting capacity of around 7,000 packs at one go. We will have an amphitheater with a sitting capacity of 3,000 packs per show. So with this kind of mega infrastructure being developed by the government of India, it gives us the opportunity to the business community of this country, which has been very rightly put here, vocal for global, vocal for local and local for global. This convergence event, I am told this is the 29th edition of Convergence India, and it is the 22nd of the India Soft and 7th edition of Smart City. As we all know, that Smart City is one of the greatest initiatives started by Government of India. It is not only for improving the urban infrastructure in the country, but it is also to uplift the whole living standards of the Indians. And so far as software is concerned, I remember a book written in 1980s, The World is Flat. And in that book, the author is quoted as today, in 1980s I am talking about. He says, as the Japan is known for its cars today, a day will come when the India will be known for its software. So that is the leaps and bounds development of the software industry, which is very well showcased here. And I really assure you that with this kind of venue and with this kind of conglomeration of the companies here, we have a separate setup of startups which will also showcase their skills, which is a real display of what the India is going to be. And it is an opportunity for the countrymen to show that where we can go. So I thank you all for coming here and giving me an opportunity to welcome you, and I hope that this event will be creating a landmark for the development of the industry, development of the urban infrastructure, development of the software, and at the same time it will showcase the best opportunities which are available for the trade and industry. I see the foreign delegates here. It gives us an opportunity to interact with them and tell them that this is what is available and this is what is there in the offering. So I wish the organizers all the very best and hope that this show will come up a long way. And I thank you all and I welcome you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Dubey, for your key insights into these three conferences, and thank you for your association with the Exhibitions India Group and introducing us also to the state-of-the-art and newly renovated world-class infrastructure, especially as we're talking about focusing brand India. ITPO, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, is the premier trade promotion council of India under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and it's a space where we can showcase to the world brand India. So thank you, sir. And now I would like to request Mr. Sandeep Nirula, the Chairman of Electronics and Computer Software Export Promotion Council, the council which has been promoting the software export from the country. And we thank them again for the association. This is, as we said, the 22nd edition of India Soft. At this time, they are associating with the EI Group. Thank you, sir. Your views, sir.
Thank you. Chief guest of the day, Ms. Meenakshi Lekhi, Honorable Minister for State and External Affairs and Culture, Government of India. We're still waiting for her. I hope she comes up before we end the program. Guest of honor, Mr. Kaushal Kishore, Honorable Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development. Ms. Chandrika Bahel, Managing Director, Exhibition India Group, our valuable partner for the event. Mr. Vimal Kumar Dubey, Director ITPO. Mr. Gurmeet Singh, Executive Director ESC. Mr. Puneet Naran from KPMG. Mr. Dhruv Bahel, Director Exhibition India Group. We have excellencies ambassadors from various countries, senior officials from the different departments of Government of India and the state governments, past chairman ESC and members of the executive committee of ESC, delegates from India and abroad, members from the media, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. I join Mr. Dubey and Ms. Chandrika in extending very warm welcome to all of you here today. In fact, a lot of our delegates have traveled from world over despite the travel restrictions and pandemic constraints. I warmly welcome all of them here. Welcome to India, land of opportunities, rich culture and heritage. I extend special welcome to our Honorable Minister, माननीय कौशल किशोर जी, जिनकी पार्लियामेंट में बहुत व्यस्तता है आज, उसके बावजूद उन्होंने अपना कीमती समय आज इस प्रोग्राम के लिए दिया, इस कार्यक्रम के लिए दिया। मैं उनका हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूँ, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ। Actually, it's a great source of encouragement for all of us to promote ICT in India. In fact, talking of ESC, we have been doing this for almost 3 decades now. And this India Soft is into 22nd edition. This year, India Soft has seen little change. Instead of going solo, we have aligned ourselves with Convergence. Of course, with the background of pandemic, but with a very clear objective to give scale to the event, bring more opportunities on the table for the stakeholders today and next 2 days. In fact, both the shows are such that they complement each other. And for the delegates also, when both the shows, who are leaders in their respective domains, bring a lot of offering, a lot of products, solutions and services which are unique. And that gives clear value addition to the delegates, not only for today, but also for the future, and especially after the pandemic. Talking of pandemic, of course it was very, very painful. Never imagined that this is going to happen. We only read in the history books that this happened once in 1917, and which had a collateral damage world over. India also lost about 17 million people back then in 1917. But we learned a lot from this pandemic also. And I would like to highlight 3 things which we learned from the pandemic. First, it prepared us to face uncertainties and challenges, which probably we never did in the past. We never expected it. Second, it gave the importance of digital revolution, digital technologies role to overcome the physical constraint. In fact, because of digital technologies only, we could live the way we lived during the last 2 years, walk the way we could walk during the last 2 years. Just imagine if there were no digital technology or not to that scale, what would happen? Whole of education would have collapsed, medical system would have collapsed, businesses would have collapsed. This shows the importance of the digital revolution that has been going on. And I am very sure event like this would enhance such revolution, enhance such transformation. Third, research and development. Of course, it has its own importance always. But especially during this period, we have seen continued R&D with disruption, with future in mind, is going to play a very, very critical role. And for any and every organization, this has to be an ongoing affair. In fact, this has given us the way forward. This has given us how to move forward and churn our portfolio, churn our services in a way that it becomes more futuristic. Talking of ESC, ESC was incepted in 1986. And when it started, we had only few $1 million of export, that to very limited geographies, mainly to the US market. And in this year, we have done exports of $160 billion, which speaks true volume of the success that Indian software industry, ITS has played. In fact, ESC has been working with the industry in many ways. IndiaSoft is only one of them. We have been doing a lot of programs in India. We have been participating in a lot of programs overseas and taking our companies from India to tap to the market, target markets. And this has resulted into the results, no doubt. We have seen smaller companies taking such heights in last 10 years, 15 years and created the space for them. Talking of government support, I would like to highlight, since 2014, we have seen tremendous support from the government, out of box thinking, and more of solution oriented. Back to back, realizing that where we are lacking, Indian government has come with various production linked incentive schemes, which has yielded great result for us. I will just give you one example. We used to be net mobile importer in India. Despite the size, we were importing the mobile phones. Because of PLI, today we have become the net exporter of mobile phones in India. And we are not stopping here. We are working on various verticals of technology, electronic hardware, medical, and bringing the changes. I am thankful to very visionary thoughts that are provided by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the government led by him, which works so closely with us, which listen to us, which gets into solution mode and give us what we want so that we can take the things better way. In fact, during the pandemic, Honorable Prime Minister Modi gave a call, Atmanirbhar, self-reliance. And that was echoed by the masses. In fact, we at ESC further expanded that call and we said, Atmanirbharta se niryat ki raha, from self-dependence to exports. And I'm very pleased to share with all of you today that ventilator, which was the lifeline for all of us, and we were the net importer. In fact, we were the importer of ventilators. We were dependent on market overseas for even the basic life support system ventilators. During the last 2 years, I am very happy to share with you that we are the exporters of ventilators. And not only ventilators, we have started exporting the testing equipment, including the RT-PCR, and various such medical electronic products are being exported by us. This transition happened during the last 2 years. Having realized the importance of innovation-led growth, our Honorable Prime Minister gave very good support to the industry, and for the first time in the world, we have come out with a $10 billion incentive scheme for setting up semiconductor fabs in India. And I'm very glad to share with you that 6 of the companies have already expressed their interest in setting up the fabs in India for the semiconductor. That speaks how to get the self-dependence Atmanirbharta. And as I said, future growth has to be innovation-led. And what important, that MSME sector plays very critical, important role in this innovation-led growth, and for that our government has come with a DLI scheme, that is Design Linked Incentive Scheme, wherein they have given the budget allocation of 10,000 crores for mainly the MSME sector. I am thankful to Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister and the entire government for bringing in disruptive changes, positive changes in such a way that we can grow, we can excel. And we not only meet the needs of our country, but go global. We have real bright future where India could play as in software, the capital of the world. We are foreseeing India would play the role of world capital, not only in software, but in various technologies. IoT, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, machine learning, you name what, blockchain, big data, whatever. And this is the event where a lot of our companies have got niche offering. In fact, I am pleased to share with you that there are about 30 new product launches going to happen over the next 3 days here. And I would like to request delegates who have come, especially from the world over, to look for partnership. Now, we are open to not only make in India for the world, we are open to having partnership with you, looking for joint venture, looking for whatever arrangements that you two together can work to bring the change in our respective markets. I am very sure that these 3 days now would enable that, bring the changes and bring the futuristic approach in each one of us, especially when we see new launches, futuristic product here. I know I've taken more time, but I could not stop myself from expressing what I thought is there and to be there. I would like to conclude with only one statement, that ESC is there. Not only during the India Soft, especially for the foreign delegates, I would say, of course our members know us. You are free to use our services continuously during the year. We have special desk for supporting international businesses. The way forward would be to work with you and also enable Indian industry for going global. In fact, I just missed one thing. ESC has launched 4 incubation centers in 2 markets. We have come out with 2 incubation centers in North America, 1 each in East Coast and West Coast, and 2 in United Kingdom. We have enabled soft landing for 20 of our companies in the 4 incubation centers, and each year we will be taking 20 companies to these markets, and this will happen for 3 years and maybe more if government allows. This is all because of the active support from the government of India, visionary thoughts of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his cabinet colleague. I thank you, all of you, for listening to me patiently. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Mimi, I'm taking 1 second. I just wanted to say that, Mr. Narula, your passion is infectious, and while digital communication has been our lifeline for the last 2 years, the reason that physical platforms such as the EXPO that we're organizing over the next 3 days are so valuable, and the presence of all of you sitting here is so valuable, is because this level of passion is something that you can't really communicate over a computer screen. So thank you for that, and thank you all for being here.
Yeah, very rightly put across. This passion is definitely going to be driving this association also. First time we are doing it with ESC India. And thank you, Mr. Narula, for citing here the very vision and mission of ESC India and the promise which India Soft brings to this conference. And now I would like to request Mr. Puneet Narang, partner KPMG in India, for to address this office gathering. They are our knowledge partners, so a lot of key insights come from them.
thank you so much, EIG. Thank you so much, the organizers. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to be a part of this dais and this panel. Warm welcome one more time to the Honorable Minister of State, the other dignitaries on the stage. We're of course expecting the chief guest, Ms. Meenakshi Lekhi. Thank you, Dhruv, Shri Bipul Kumar Dubeji, and Mr. Sandeep Nagula, who've spoken before me. I'm going to try and keep this very, very brief so that I don't stand between you and Minister Sir's address. But what is important for me is that this forum, which brings together businesses, government, private players, and global players to this common platform. And the theme of convergence, or what you saw, the ability for us to intersect across these various streams is what will hold the key for the future. And if I zoom out very quickly, this year we do celebrate 75 years of independence in India. 30 years plus when the country opened up from the 91 reforms, where we have seen a significant shift. 39 years when India won the first World Cup in 1983, and 11 from the last one in 2011. That's important to us, and we're seeing our women's team do well, also going ahead. Also, 25 years from now, I will turn 69, so I want to secure my own future, and similarly, each one of you sitting in the room and your future generations. It is in our hands what kind of a country and what India at 100 can we create. And as KPMG, I think we've taken upon ourselves to set the right discourse. What drives our conversations as stakeholders? Because from that, actions emerge. While governments and both state and center, they devise our policies, but what will emerge will be a result of the implementation and actions. And an inclusive approach where you and I, where each stakeholder will have to play their own part, becomes very, very important the way we see it. So as KPMG, we've kind of defined these next 3 days agenda, certain themes, and I'll touch upon a couple of those. But I zoomed out, I'm zooming back in again. We have seen the last 2 years of the pandemic, we are emerging from that. The next 3, 4, 5 years, as a nation, we plan to get to the $5 trillion economy mark. There are a lot of hurdles in front of us. If you want to take a 25-year view, it is important that you take the first few steps correctly. And for that to happen, our immediate implementation of what's been defined as key policy programs becomes very, very critical. Tomorrow we will also release our thought leadership, which talks about the key aspirations or the imperatives into which this framework has been built in. And if I were to cover this very briefly, we apply 4 lenses to it. Some of those you saw in the video that was streaming earlier. Economic, most important, money has to be at the center. Environmental, technology, and social. While technology is the theme today, I think it's very, very important that for our cities, which have to become economic powerhouses to drive our nation forward, the social aspect is put at the center also. And why do I say that? Because the cookie cutter approach of the West or standardizing everything may not work. India as a nation has its own heritage, each city has its soul. It will be important to understand that and stitch that into the technology, the policy, the environment, the economic lenses. And you will see livability as a theme, soul and heritage as a theme, as a part of that frame. So I touched upon social or the soul. The other 3, which are also important, is economic. And a shift that's happening on the economic lens is that we are becoming more and more responsive to the individual, citizen centricity. So the age-old agenda of 5-year programs and then being implemented is shifting to a more agile and a responsive approach. where quick feedback loops, which technology has enabled, are going to drive how we position policy and position implementation plans. So integrated planning is going to become critical. Socioeconomic surveys are going to be at the helm of it, and an inclusive approach to delivering, whether it's technology, whether what we are doing in building infrastructure, our airports, our metro stations, our cities, is going to become much more integrated and far more citizen-centric and a services-oriented approach. Moving to the environmental aspect, I think we have seen at COP26, we are seeing post-pandemic that climate is going to become into action. It's going to come to the center stage. I've just been told that we need to wrap up, so I'm going to make it really quick now. So, environmental, economic, technological and social. And in technology is going to shift purely towards data-driven, digital and analytics-led decision-making. With that said, let me just say that there are sessions planned around mobility, citizen centricity, governance, so on and so forth over the next 3 days. And I'm sure that with each one of those sessions, we will deep dive into these themes. But that's important to set the discourse for the next 3 days. With that, let me break away from here and invite Honorable Minister of State, Shri Kaushal Kishorji, to the stage for his address.
Thank you for those key insights. It sounds extremely important coming from our knowledge partners, for it is based on a lot of study and research by them. और अब हमारे आज के हमारे विशेष अतिथि हमारे माननीय आवास एवं शहरी विकास राज्य मंत्री श्री कौशल किशोर जी को मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ कि अपने विचारों से हमें अनुग्रहित करने के लिए।
आज का ये स्मार्ट सिटी का एक्सपो है, इसके ओपनिंग सेरेमनी में हमारे बीच में मिस्टर ध्रुव बहल जी, श्री विमल कुमार दुबे जी, मिस्टर संदीप नरूला जी, मिस्टर पुनीत नारंग जी, चीफ गेस्ट हमारे बीच में नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे, मीनाक्षी लेखी जी आ रही होंगी, गुरमीत सिंह जी और चंद्रिका बहल जी। यहाँ पर उपस्थित विभिन्न देशों से आए हुए हमारे सम्मानित अतिथिगण, और इसमें अपना स्टॉल लगाए हुए कई विभिन्न प्रदेशों से आए हुए हमारे अधिकारीगण जो स्मार्ट सिटीज़ को देख रहे हैं, ऑडियंस में बैठे हुए सभी लोग, पत्रकार बंधु। स्मार्ट सिटी की कल्पना आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने 2015 में इसको शुरू किया और हमारे देश में 100 स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने का टारगेट तय किया, लेकिन वो 100 स्मार्ट सिटी चयन करने में 2015 से 2018 तक के समय लग गया, 3 साल। कौन कौन से शहर स्मार्ट बनाने हैं, फिर उसके बाद जो है अभी उन शहरों को स्मार्ट करने के लिए डेट भी आगे बढ़ा दी, 2023 तक उन्हें स्मार्ट सिटी बनाना है। कंप्लीट स्मार्ट सिटी वो बनने के तैयार होने हैं। इस तरह का टारगेट माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने तय करने का कहा है। अभी मैं विगत 7 जुलाई 2021 को मैं उसी हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन डेवलपमेंट का MOS मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट माननीय मोदी जी ने मुझे बनाया, और तब आके मैंने भी इसमें देखा कि जो स्मार्ट सिटी है उसमें क्या क्या करना है, कैसे करना है। अभी फिर उसके बाद पहली बार अमृत 10 योजना लागू की गई, SBM 10 योजना लागू की। अमृत योजना के तहत जो है शहरों से पानी निकासी, सीवर लाइन डालना, कचरा मुक्त बनाने के लिए SBM 10 योजना लागू की गई। उसके लिए कुछ शहर चुने गए। अब अभी विगत 1 अक्टूबर 2021 को माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने अमृत 20 और SBM 20 योजना लागू की, जिसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा देने का काम किया। और ये हुआ कि अब जो स्मार्ट सिटी हैं उनके साथ साथ में करीब 4700 या 4800 जो शहर और हैं, नगर पालिकाएँ हैं, नगर निगम हैं, नगर पंचायत हैं, ऐसे शहरों को भी उसमें चुना गया स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के तहत कि उनको गार्बेज फ्री बनाना है, कचरा मुक्त बनाना है, पानी की निकासी होनी चाहिए, सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट लगने चाहिए, जो पानी वहाँ इकट्ठा होता है उसको फिर से शुद्ध बनाना है। और केवल ये नहीं कि पानी निकासी है या गार्बेज फ्री करना है, बल्कि उसको इस तरीके का एक स्मार्ट सिटी बनाना है जिसमें सारी सुविधाएं उपलब्ध हो, प्रदूषण ना हो। उसके लिए बेहतर होगा कि वहाँ के जो व्हीकल चले हैं वो या तो CNG गैस से चल रहे हों या जो अलग से इलेक्ट्रिक वाले वाहन हों, ऐसे चल रहे हों जिससे वो प्रदूषण मुक्त शहर भी बने, स्मार्ट सिटी बने। डिजिटल के एरिया में जाए तो सारी सुविधाएं वहाँ पे उपलब्ध हों, टेक्नोलॉजी हमारी आगे हो, और इससे लोगों को रोजगार भी मिलेगा अगर इसको सही तरीके से लागू करेंगे। वैसे स्मार्ट सिटीज़ में ये लागू किया गया कि जो स्मार्ट सिटी चुने गए हैं या SBM 20 में जो शहर चुने गए उसके तहत डोर टू डोर कचरा को इकट्ठा करना है कि बेल बजाएंगे और कचरा घर में इकट्ठा होगा, वो लोग उठाएंगे, अपनी गाड़ी पे ला देंगे, ले जा करके उसको एक जगह कलेक्ट करेंगे और फिर उसका अलग से गार्बेज को ट्रीट करेंगे फिर से। तो इस तरीके का एक योजना पूरी तरीके से बना करके किया गया। इसमें इंदौर सबसे आगे निकल करके आया, जो अभी तक के उसको कई बार से लगातार फर्स्ट स्थान मिलता रहा। लेकिन इसमें कुछ कमियां भी आई। जब स्मार्ट सिटी चुने जा रहे थे तो उसमें मैंने देखा कि पार्ट को स्मार्ट सिटी चुन लिया। जैसे मैं लखनऊ का रहने वाला हूँ, मैंने पहली बार जो स्मार्ट सिटी की बैठक की वही तो मुझे मालूम है कि एक पार्ट चुना गया स्मार्ट सिटी का, और वो भी इस पार्ट जितना चुना गया वो पूरे शहर का मुश्किल से 10% भी पार्ट नहीं होगा, 5% का पार्ट होगा। तो एक पार्ट स्मार्ट सिटी बना देने से वो स्मार्ट सिटी नहीं बन जाएगा। हम स्मार्ट सिटी चुने जा रहे हैं, मालूम है कि हमको पूरे शहर को स्मार्ट बनाना है, तो पूरे शहर को हम टारगेट लेकर के चलेंगे, बना करके उसके हिसाब से उसका मैप बनाएंगे, उसके हिसाब से उसको ठीक करेंगे, तो बेहतर तब जा करके वो स्मार्ट सिटी बनेगा। भले हम उसका एक मॉडल अगर प्रस्तुत करना चाहते हैं तो मॉडल प्रस्तुत करने के लिए वो छोटा सा मॉडल नहीं दिखाएंगे, हमको पूरे शहर को एक मॉडल के रूप में दिखाना होगा। और अगर पूरे शहर को हम मॉडल के रूप में दिखाएंगे तब लोग, दूसरे शहर के लोग हमसे इंस्पायर होंगे। और अगर एक शहर में ही थोड़ा सा हम दिखाएंगे पार्ट तो उस शहर के लोग ही इंस्पायर नहीं होंगे। ये ध्यान में रखना है। हमारी एनर्जी को हम बेवजह वेस्ट मत करें, हम इसको सही जगह पे पूरी तरीके से काम करने का काम करें। तो पूरे शहर को कैसे, पूरे शहर का पानी निकासी कैसे होगी, जो रेन वाटर है वो कैसे निकलेगा, जो घर से पानी निकलता है उसकी सिस्टम क्या होगा, सीवर लाइन का, सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट जो लगते हैं वो लगाने का। तो केवल उतना क्षेत्र नहीं जो स्मार्ट सब बना हुआ है, उसकी गलियां ठीक हों, उसकी सड़कें ठीक हों, उनको सुविधाएं भी उपलब्ध हों, पढ़ाई लिखाई के भी पूरे सिस्टम वहाँ के ठीक हों, हर वो सुविधाएं वहाँ पे उपलब्ध होनी चाहिए जिससे हम उसको कहें कि एक हमारा मॉडल है, और एक ऐसा मॉडल है कि केवल हिंदुस्तान के लिए नहीं बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के लिए हमारा एक मॉडल बनकर के तैयार हुआ। इस तरीके का हमको स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने के लिए काम करना होगा। इसमें हमारी सरकार, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी काफ़ी पैसा भी देने का काम कर रहे हैं, काफ़ी धन इन्वेस्ट करने का काम इस पर कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनका जो सपना है उसका पूरा करने के लिए हम सब लोगों को पूरी मुस्तैदी से लगना ही होगा और तभी कर पाएंगे। जैसे कि देखा जाए कि ये टाइम इतना, स्मार्ट सिटी केवल 100 चुनने थे और उनको चुनने में 3 साल का समय क्यों लग गया? मैं समझ रहा हूँ उनको डिसाइड करने में अगर 10 दिन मान ले तो बहुत था कि इस शहर को स्मार्ट बनाना है, और 3 साल चयन करने में लग गया तो इतना समय तो बेकार का चला गया ना। उस समय में जो पैसा खर्च, कम पैसे में काम हो जाता वो इतना समय में नहीं हो पाया। तो महंगाई भी उससे अगर कहीं पे बढ़ी, कुछ चीज़ों को रेट उसके बढ़े तो हमारा काम करने में भी प्रॉब्लम आएगी। तो अभी 2023 तक के ये 100 शहर हमको स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने हैं, और जो करीब SBM 2.0 के तहत लगभग 4700 शहर चुने गए हैं स्वच्छ भारत मिशन के तहत, उसमें भी हमको काम करना है कि उन शहरों को भी हम एक स्वच्छ तरीके के बनाने का काम करें। हमारी सरकार ने तय किया है कि कोई भी व्यक्ति आवास जो है सब लोगों को मिलने चाहिए। शहर में जो लोग भी रह रहे हैं उनके पास अपना एक भूखंड है, प्लॉट है, तो उसको 2.5 लाख रुपए हमारी सरकार दे रही है कि आपके पास अपनी ज़मीन है तो 2.5 लाख रुपए लीजिए और अपना मकान बनाइए। शौचालय के लिए भी पैसा दे रही है, अगर शौचालय नहीं बनाया तो उसके लिए भी पैसा देने का काम कर रही है हमारी सरकार। एक घर में अगर 2 लोग रहते हैं, एक को प्लाट मिल गया, एक को मकान हाउस मिल गया है और दूसरे को भाई को नहीं मिला है, तो उसको मकान के ऊपर मकान बनाने के लिए भी उसको पैसा दिया जा रहा है। तो ये जो योजना हमारी सरकार की है वो ये है कि शहर में, हालांकि ग्रामीण के लिए भी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने किया, उसके लिए प्रधानमंत्री ग्रामीण आवास योजना लागू की, शहर के लिए प्रधानमंत्री शहरी आवास योजना लागू की। स्मार्ट सिटी का मतलब है कि एक भी व्यक्ति का घर झोपड़पट्टी का नहीं होना चाहिए, मलिन बस्ती जितनी भी है सब में पक्के घर आवास बनने चाहिए, आवास बनने चाहिए, उनकी पानी की निकासी, शौचालय, उसमें लाइट, उसमें बिजली, उसमें चूल्हा, सारी चीज़ें उनको उपलब्ध होनी चाहिए। और उनको स्मार्ट सिटी केवल घर बन जाने से नहीं है, पानी की निकासी से होने से नहीं है, सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट लग जाने से नहीं है, बल्कि प्रत्येक घर में कम से कम एक व्यक्ति कमाने वाला होना चाहिए। उसके लिए उसको रोजगार देने के लिए कौशल विकास योजना लागू की, प्रधानमंत्री मुद्रा लोन योजना लागू की, और गरीब महिलाओं के लिए उद्यमी बनाने के लिए प्रत्येक बैंक से एक महिला को, और जो सबसे ज़्यादा कमजोर तबके के माने जाते हैं वो SC समाज के लोग, शेड्यूल कास्ट समाज के लोग, उन लोगों को 1 बैंक से एक शेड्यूल कास्ट को और एक महिला किसी वर्ग की, उनको उद्यमी बनाने के लिए, कर कारखाने का मालिक बनाने के लिए 10 लाख से लेकर के 1 करोड़ रुपए तक बगैर गारंटी का लोन भी देने का काम हमारी सरकार कर रही है। आप सोचिए कि इसको सही तरीके से अगर कर ले, जिम्मेदारी जो अधिकारियों की है अगर उसको सही तरीके से निभाए होते तो अब तक 1,36,000 बैंक हमारे देश में हैं ब्रांच, तो 1,36,000 महिलाएं उद्यमी और 1,36,000 दलित समाज के लोग, यानी 2,72,000 उद्यमी बन जाते। 10 लोगों को अगर काम देते तो 27 लाख लोगों को रोजगार देने का काम करते। तो इस सरकार की हमारी जो योजना है वो केवल स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने के साथ साथ लोगों को रोजगार भी उपलब्ध कराने की योजना है। कि वहाँ पर कोई भी व्यक्ति ऐसा न रहे कि जिसको उनको खाने के लिए चीज़ें ना मिले। इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 2014 में पार्लियामेंट में पहली बार ही बोला था कि हम चाहते हैं कि सन 2022 तक, इसी साल में, अंतिम व्यक्ति जो आर्थिक रूप से कमजोर है उसके पास अपना निजी घर हो, उसमें चूल्हा हो जो सुबह शाम जलता हो यानी उसको रोजगार हो, उसमें बल्ब हो जो 24 घंटा जलता हो यानी उसके लिए बिजली भी मिले, और उसमें नल हो जो पानी देता हो यानी पानी पीने की व्यवस्था, रोटी कपड़ा मकान सारी चीज़ें उसको उपलब्ध हों, शिक्षा भी, बीमारों को इलाज भी, ये सारी चीज़ें उपलब्ध होंगी तब हमारा शहर स्मार्ट शहर कहलाएगा, स्मार्ट सिटी कहलाएगा। इस तरह का मॉडल बना करके तैयार करने का काम करना है। इसमें हमारी सरकार अच्छी तरीके से काम कर रही है और हमारे लोग भी काम कर रहे हैं, हमारे इंडस्ट्रीज भी इस पर बहुत अच्छा काम करने का काम कर रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अभी 15 अगस्त को बोला था इस पे लाल किले के मैदान पे, वोकल फॉर लोकल। वोकल फॉर लोकल का मतलब है कि हम स्थानीय चीज़ों को, अपने छोटे छोटे कुटीर उद्योग खोल करके और अपने सामान का प्रचार खुद ज़्यादा करें, जो हम उत्पादन करते हैं उसका प्रचार इतना ज़्यादा करें कि वो हमारे देश में बिके और हमारे देश के लोग इसको खरीदें, और उसकी बेहतर कितना बेहतर है उसका प्रचार करना है। वो वोकल फॉर लोकल इसलिए है, उसके बारे में बताना, लोगों को बताना। अभी कुछ लोग अपने को बड़ा स्मार्ट समझते हैं और बड़ा वो समझने लगते हैं कि अगर इम्पोर्टेड कपड़ा पहने हुए हैं, इम्पोर्टेड सामान लिए हुए हैं, तो दिखाने का प्रयास करते हैं लोग कि ये बाहर का है, ये फला कंट्री का है, ये फला कंट्री का है, ये फला कंट्री का है। हमें गर्व महसूस करके ये बात करनी चाहिए, हमारे देश का बना हुआ सामान है जिसको हम यूज करने का काम कर रहे हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी का ये कहना है वोकल फॉर लोकल, और वो सामान हमें इतना बनाना है कि हम लोकल फॉर ग्लोबल के लिए जाए, यानी पूरी दुनिया में हमारा जो सामान है वो बन करके जाए, हमको बिके, हम तमाम सामान एक्सपोर्ट कर सके दूसरे देशों में। अगर इतना हम कर लेते हैं तो हम आर्थिक रूप से मजबूत होंगे और हर तरीके से मजबूत होंगे, और हमने अपने राष्ट्र को, अपने देश को इतना मजबूत खड़ा कर सकते हैं कि दुनिया में हम सर्वश्रेष्ठ गिने जा सकते हैं। बुद्धि में हमारा देश पीछे नहीं है, आदिकाल से हमारे देश के लोग बुद्धिजीवी रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारे देश के लोगों की जो प्रतिभा है, उस प्रतिभा को एक साजिश के तहत उसको कमजोर करने का प्रयास भी किया जा रहा है। ये भी ध्यान में रखने की जरूरत है। आज तमाम मैं इधर जो है मैं बात किया, कई मुझे लोगों से, एक नशा समाज आंदोलन में चला था। मेरे खुद के एक लड़के की डेथ नशे की वजह से हो गई 28 साल में, और तब से मैंने एक नशा समाज आंदोलन अभियान कौशल का शुरू किया मैंने। तो मुझे कई एथलीट्स के फ़ोन आए मेरे पास जो वो नेशनल एथलीट रहे और अब वो नशे के चक्कर में फंस करके वो एक पैसे के लिए मोहताज हैं। जो नेशनल एथलीट्स रहे, आप समझ लीजिए, वो इनकी ये स्थिति हो गई, नशे ने उनको बर्बाद कर देने का काम किया। तो हमारे यहाँ की जो प्रतिभा है, एक साजिश के तहत कुछ लोग जो है नई पीढ़ी के लोगों को नशे में डालने का लगातार प्रयास कर रहे हैं। जैसे पंजाब है, आपका हरियाणा है, आपका हिमाचल प्रदेश है। कभी सेना में 25 से 35% लोग भर्ती होते थे, आज नशे की वजह से 5% लोग भर्ती हो पा रहे हैं। इसलिए स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने के लिए हमको ध्यान में रखना है कि उन स्मार्ट सिटी को हम स्मोक फ्री, एल्कोहल फ्री और ड्रग्स फ्री भी हम उसको बनाने का काम करें। स्मार्ट सिटी को ये भी टारगेट लेकर के चलने का काम करें। अगर ये टारगेट हम लेकर के चलेंगे कि नहीं, हमारे शहर में, हमारा स्मार्ट शहर है, यहाँ पर कोई भी स्मोकिंग नहीं करता, अगर ऐसा करें तो पर्यावरण से भी बचेंगे। और स्मार्ट सिटी बनाने के लिए स्मार्ट बॉय बनाने, स्मार्ट मैन बनाने, स्मार्ट लेडी बनानी, गर्ल्स बनानी, स्मार्ट पर्सन बनाने। स्मार्ट पर्सन का मतलब है कि वो कोई भी ऐसी चीज़ें यूज नहीं करता जो उसके शरीर को भी नुकसान करती हो और बीमारी को पैदा करती हो। ये भी हमको बना करके लेकर के चलना है। ये चीज़ें अगर धारा लेकर के चलेंगे और इसको टारगेट करेंगे, मैं समझ रहा हूँ कि हम स्मार्ट सिटी के साथ साथ स्मार्ट कंट्री बनाने का काम करेंगे, स्मार्ट देश बनाने का काम करेंगे और अपने देश को दुनिया में एक मॉडल की तरीके से प्रस्तुत करने का काम करेंगे। मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ आप सब लोगों का, आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ इसके लिए कि आपने जो इसके लिए अच्छी बिल्डिंग्स, स्मार्ट बिल्डिंग्स इंडिया बनाने का, क्लीन इंडिया बनाने का, स्मार्ट एनर्जी इंडिया बनाने का, स्मार्ट वाटर इंडिया बनाने का और स्मार्ट आपका जो एनर्जी बनाने का जो भी कर रहे हैं, हम सब आपके साथ मिल करके एक दूसरे के साथ हमको इस देश को बनाना होगा, क्योंकि जिन कंट्रियों ने सब लोग एकजुट होकर के अपने देश को बेहतर बनाने का काम किया वही उन्नति की है। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक नारा दिया मेक इन इंडिया का, आत्मनिर्भर भारत का। आप याद करिए ये नारा 1947 में होना चाहिए था, ये 2014 में प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दिया। आत्मनिर्भर भारत का नारा प्रधानमंत्री जी ने दिया। उदाहरण अगर मैं दूं तो जापान जो है 1945 में जब वहाँ पर हिरोशिमा नागासाकी में परमाणु बम डाले गए तो ध्वस्त जापान हो गया था, मगर वो सब एकजुट हुए। वहाँ की सरकार, वहाँ की मीडिया, वहाँ की सरकारी कर्मचारी अधिकारी, वहाँ की जनता, सबका एक ही लक्ष्य मेक इन जापान। और वो जापान जो है जब अपने को बना करके खड़ा करना किया तो उसने बुलेट ट्रेन भी बना ली और टेक्नोलॉजी के क्षेत्र में पूरी दुनिया में नंबर 1 पे चला गया। हम 1947 में आज़ाद हुए, 2 साल बाद हमसे चीन आज़ाद हुआ और उसने मेक इन चाइना का नारा दिया और मेक इन चाइना के तहत उन्होंने प्रोफेशनल एजुकेशन भी शुरू की और वो चाइना आज पूरी दुनिया में हमारे देश को भी उसने मार्केट बना करके रख दिया। हम होली दीपावली के जो त्यौहार मनाते हैं, तमाम सामान हमारे देश में वहाँ से खरीद करके आता है, बिकता है, दवाएं वहाँ से आती, तमाम चीज़ें वहाँ आती। हम ऐसे तो नहीं कर सकते थे, इसलिए कि उन लोगों ने नारा दिया अपने देश को बनाना, खड़ा करना, तो सब लोग एकजुट हुए। चपरासी से लेकर के IAS अधिकारी तक, मीडिया से लेकर के जनता तक, सरकार से लेकर के जजेस तक, सभी लोगों का कि हमको चीन को बनाना है, अपने देश को बनाना है। हम अपने देश में अपने देश को बनाने के लिए अपनी जिम्मेदारी को निभा रहे। मेक इन इंडिया भारत को बनाना है और आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाना है। इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा वोकल फॉर लोकल, अपने देश की बनी हुई चीज़ों का प्रचार करना, उनको यूज करना है और इतना ज़्यादा बनाना है कि हम लोकल फॉर ग्लोबल के लिए चले जाएं। हमको इस लक्ष्य को लेकर के चलना है और इस लक्ष्य को लेकर के प्रधानमंत्री की जो मंशा को लेकर के चलने का काम करेंगे। हमारी आपकी सबकी जिम्मेदारी सामूहिक बनती है कि हम एक उद्देश्य के लिए मिल करके काम करें। धन्यवाद, थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय मंत्री जी आपके बहुत ही कंस्ट्रक्टिव विचारों के लिए और एक बहुत ही सोचने पर मजबूर संदेश के लिए। जैसा कि आपने कहा कि शायद 75 साल पहले हमें काफ़ी कुछ काम शुरू कर देने चाहिए थे, पर फिर भी अभी एक नई सोच के साथ हमें आगे बढ़ना है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आपने हमें SDM 2.0 और अमृत 2.0 की तरफ जो भारत सरकार की सोच और विशेष रूप से हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो दृष्टिकोण है, जो मंशा है, सोच है, विजन है, उसको हमारे साथ साझा करने का। और जैसा कि आपने कहा कि ज़रूरत है कि जब हम अपने स्मार्ट सिटी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो वो स्मार्टनेस सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी तक नहीं रहे, पर वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, वाटर मैनेजमेंट और जैसे आपने कहा कि लोगों को भी स्मार्ट बनाना, स्वास्थ्य की तरफ अल्कोहल फ्री, तो ये सब सोच लेके हमें अपनी स्मार्ट सिटीज़ को बनाना है। और आपने ये भी कहा कि स्मार्ट सिटीज़ की जो मंशा है, वो सोच है, भारत को स्वावलंबी बनाने की तरफ भी है, साथ साथ एक राष्ट्र प्रेम जागृत करने की तरफ भी स्मार्ट सिटीज़ की मंशा और जो सरकार की मंशा सोच है। और रोज़गार भी इससे काफ़ी सृजित होगा। ये सब हमें जानकारी देने का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और अब मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगी श्री गुरमीत सिंह जी को, एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर ESC इंडिया, धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव रखने के लिए।
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to propose a hearty vote of thanks to all of you. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. it must be felt by heart. So I feel honored and privileged to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion of convergence of technologies, convergence of so many technology shows at one place. Friends, you would agree that we had a wonderful session that has set the right tone for the meaningful deliberations and exchanges over the next 3 days. Our special thanks to Honorable Shri Kaushal Kishore Ji, Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Government of India. Sir, thank you very much for making it convenient to be with us this morning and sharing your valuable thoughts. Your words will continue to inspire us and will guide town planners and industry alike. Thank you very much, sir. My sincere thanks to R. Vibhu Nair ji, our Executive Director for IGPO, for being a fine host and making it convenient to join us this morning. Sir, let me congratulate you at the revamping of Pragati Maidan at a global standards, which will continue to play an important role in exhibiting advancements made by India in the world. Thank you very much, sir. Our special thanks to Puri ji. I misspelled the name, Bimal Kumar Goviji, GM IGPO. My special thanks to you. And our special thanks to Puri Naranji for sharing his thoughts and insights today morning. Special thanks to our chairman, Mr. Sandeep Narula. Sir, you have been a guiding spirit behind all of our endeavors and have been a source of strength to all of us. While preparing for the current edition of IndiaSoft, you were a constant source of guidance and support. Thank you very much. My sincere thanks to Chandrika ji and Dhruval ji, the leadership at Exhibitions India Group. It has been a wonderful experience joining hands with you and bringing two technology-related events together. I sincerely hope this partnership grows in years to come for the benefit of industry as a whole, and our heartiest thanks to our friend Dhruv. His innovative ideas have been of great help in organizing this event. I would also like to thank senior officials of various ministries of the Government of India as well as state governments who are present here. Special thanks to those who have traveled all the way from different parts of country to be part of this gathering, and my sincere thanks to different departments and state governments for supporting the current exhibitions. Particularly, I would like to sincere thanks for Department of Commerce, Government of India for supporting the 22nd edition of IndiaSoft. I would feeling it my duty if I don't acknowledge presence of senior members of our executive committee who are present amongst us. Thank you so much for being with us. My sincere thanks to all the delegates, exhibitors and excellencies who have joined us today. Perhaps without their active participation, the entire exercise would have remained meaningless. My special thanks to international delegates who have braved the COVID scare and have traveled all the way to join us this morning. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated officers and staff in our council with Vikas, Vikrant, Asad, Rawat and all other team members. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond every comfort. I also like to thank the team of Exhibitions India Group, especially Sanjay Sharma ji, who have studied with us all the way and shouldered with us in making the events a great success. Thank you everyone and wish you a limitless networking and business opportunities during the next 2 days. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for your heartfelt words of thanks for everyone. And now to propose a vote of thanks from the Exhibitions India Group, may I request Ms. Chandrika Patel, the Managing Director, and also to express gratitude and appreciation to our guest speakers.
Good morning. morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to have you here today to present the vote of thanks. But in the interest of time, I'm going to cut them very short. I know our minister has to leave for Parliament soon. So can I request Mr. Dubey if you present a small memento to Manya Mantri Kaushal Kishore ji, please. Sir, Mantri ji. सर आपके आने से पूरी प्रदर्शनी की गरिमा बहुत बढ़ी. थैंक यू. Can I ask Dhruv to present a memento to Mr. Dubey for all of ITPO's support and guidance at the show? And once again, I'd like to thank all our partners, ESC, KPMG, all the various government ministries, all of you here today for being present. The show is fantastic in our mind. We have a lot for you to see, so I hope you'll spend a lot of time here. The next session starts very shortly, so do stay with us. Mr. Kunal Kumar, who's director for the Smart Cities Mission, will be giving a keynote address in the next few minutes. So thank you very much. And lastly, can I give a memento to Puneet, our partner from KPMG, and then can I invite everyone to cut the ribbon, please?
और अब माननीय मंत्री जी से निवेदन है कि अपने कर कमरों द्वारा रिबन कटिंग कर इस प्रदर्शनी का उद्घाटन करने के लिए. देवियों सज्जू, जैसे कि हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमेशा से कहा है कि सबका साथ सबका प्रयास के साथ, और सभी के यहाँ पर होने के साथ माननीय मंत्री जी के द्वारा